Well, who do we have here? Sergey and Demon Hunter.
Crocodile, how are you doing, old friend? Hopefully the blade is treating you well.
I'm doing great, thank you for asking. And the blade? It's bloody wonderful. Sharp as hell and well balanced, Where my man is? Demon Hunter, where have you been? Haven't seen you in quite some time.
As my name implies, I have been hunting demons, and I'm doing well.
That's good. Anyway, I reckon you have already seen the distress signal. It seems our good friend Tamor is in danger.
That is correct, Crocodile. Demon Hunter, Sergey, gentlemen, thank you all for coming on such short notice.
As you have heard, our good friend has been kidnapped, and one of the only clues we have is this transmission.
Hello there. You've got many questions, but I'll only give you one answer. Tamor is here with me, perfectly safe. If you want him back, come and get him.
What makes this even more strange is the fact that the signal for this transmission was barely encrypted, and after a few minutes, I managed to trace it back to its origin.
From personal experience, anytime this happens, either A, the person is an amateur, or B, they want to be found. And I don't think we're dealing with an amateur here.
Any idea who this might be?
Personally, I think it's one of those militant half-rappers that Sergey has come across. From his reports, it seems like they're not only dangerous, but also stupid enough to do something like this.
That is a good theory. It could possibly explain the lack of encryption on the signal. But there's one glaring problem. None of the militant half-rappers I have ran into were organized enough to accomplish something of this magnitude, not to mention with such speed and efficiency.
I have a theory of my own. It might sound crazy at first, but hear me out. We're all here, except for the two of us. Tamor, who we know has been kidnapped, and... No! I know where you're going with your theory, but it's completely absurd.
Absurd? Makes plenty of sense to me. I know you're friends with them, but you have to think logically about this.
I'm the one who's not thinking logically. You're the ones who claim that a person who's currently on a far-off expedition, mind you, has suddenly returned and decided to kidnap you. Do you realize how absurd?
Enough!
Does it matter if that man, thing, or whatever is one of us or not?
At the end of the day, one of our friends is still kidnapped, and rather than figuring out how to rescue him, we are arguing and bickering among ourselves.
Agent, do you have anything else that could possibly help us out?
Yes I do. After tracing back the signal to its origin, I managed to acquire a satellite image of the area where the signal comes from. And from the looks of it, it seems like Tamor is held up in a simple, old, and quite frankly run-down compound.
Are there any guards?
Yes, on the outside at least. You can see some of them at the different entrances. Speaking of entrances, they have two. One down south, which is their main entrance, and one up north, which is their back door, which leads down to somewhere. Which one has fewer guards?
Both seem to have the same amount of guards and patrols. Right, then I would recommend for us to take the back door. It might take us a bit longer, but our chances of getting caught are much lower.
I agree. Also, to minimize that risk even further, I suggest conducting a rescue operation during the night. Keep the enemy blind.
Yes, a night operation will minimize the risk and blind the enemy, but you have to remember it will also blind us. Because we lack the proper equipment, and aside from you, none of us can see in the dark.
Not to mention, if our mission does go south and we have to get out of there quickly, the darkness will become a huge liability, which can result in us getting split up and lost.
Yet, during the day we are completely exposed and we won't be getting out of anywhere, because we won't even make it inside.
Who says we have to do it during the day? I personally believe the best time is the early morning. Plenty of shadows and visibility.
I can work with that.
So it is settled. We'll conduct our rescue mission during the early hours of the morning by entering the compound from the north. Any last questions, comments, and/or concerns?
Yeah. Demon Hunter and I will be in front to clear a path, because our weapons make little to no noise. Meanwhile, you and Sergei will be behind us, keeping your eyes and ears open for any sign of trouble. Oh, and Sergei and Agent, shoot your pistols only as a last resort, because without silencers, gunshots are an excellent way to let everyone know we're there.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, get into your positions, because it's showtime.